If you are wanting to grow in cultivating your curiosity and growing in your knowledge and producing new thoughts, this video is for you. You see, all three of these things are accomplished by one activity, and that is growing your mind garden. Now, if you're not sure what a mind garden is, or if you're interested to learn more about that, I encourage you to check out my last video, then come back to this one because this one's going to get real practical. So today we're going to take a tour of my mini mind garden that I made with Craft, and then we're going to go over the benefits of using Craft to create your mind garden, and then also a step-by-step guide on how to actually set it up. Now, before we hop in, I wanted to give you a free gift for hanging out with me today. This is a PDF guide on how to get the insights from the books that you love into your personal knowledge management system. By the end of the guide, you'll have a simple system for highlighting books, a mindful approach for adding content to your personal knowledge management system, a process for creating building blocks of knowledge, and then a simple way to make more connections inside of your personal knowledge management system. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. All right, so you may be asking, why should I use Craft to set up my mind garden? There are three reasons. Number one, it's easy to set up. Number two, it's intuitive to use. And then number three, it is beautiful out of the box. And I want to go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So what we're looking at right now is my mini mind garden that I've built to show you what's capable with Craft. It's very, very small, but we will definitely get into how all this is set up, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Now, what we're looking at right now is considered, or what I consider is the home page, right? That's the starting place. And as you can see, we have, like this image right here at the top, and then there's the content. And I've made it to where you can browse by topic, or in this case by book notes. These 4 items that you see here are called cards in Craft. They are basically subpages, but we'll get into how all this works a little bit later. Now on the left-hand side, we have a sidebar, which is the table of contents. Super handy, super helpful. And this is populated by the headings here. These are H2s right here, heading 2s. And then the cards themselves are actually inside of the hierarchy right here. So browse by topic is the H2, book notes is another H2. So these will drop down, and these are individual notes here inside of the storytelling card, or the page here, and then same thing, individual notes inside of this page, and so on and so forth. And I can use the table of contents to navigate through my mind garden, and I can actually interact with and click the notes here as well. Okay, so it's easy to find things using the table of contents. And then I have search up here as well. If I click into it, it comes up with this little box here, and I can search the word story, and it's searching everything inside of my mind garden right now. It's super fast, and the results, they give me the notes with the key word that I've typed, and then the note that it's attached to. So I've searched the word story, and so it's finding all the words that have story in it, and then it shows me the note that it's attached to, right? And I can click either one of these to get to the whole note, or exactly where it is in the note. On the right hand side, we also have another way to search with this magnifying glass. It does the exact same thing. And then over here, we have dark mode and light mode. And this is not just for me who, in the actual app of Craft, although it does have dark and light mode, This is for anybody that accesses. This is like the actual link right here that's being used and generated for this Mind Garden. So anybody that has this link can change based on their preference, light and dark mode. And then there's a classic view and a column view. You see that? So you can kind of customize how you want to see things. You know, like it's one at a time here, or the classic view kind of cascades, and you have multiple ways you can kind of dive in and kind of get lost in the weeds of thought here. So that's the right hand side, being able to switch between dark mode and light mode and the classic view and column view. All right, so I have clicked on, let's say, the Learner for Life and Self-Education page right here. Now, this opened horizontally, like I just showed you, so I can still see the previous page right here. In this case, it's the home page, but now the focus is the sub page that I clicked on. And you can also see on the top left that I have breadcrumbs, like, so I can know exactly where I'm at. The further that I get into it, it's more useful, you know, obviously the further that you're in, but I can click on any of these to get back. If I want to get back to the home and start over and kind of dive into another path, then I can do that. So it's, again, another thing of how it's easy to use. Also, what I love, it's just something small here, but on every page, when I dive into subpages, at the bottom here, there is a button or a link here that takes you back to the previous page, right? So if I'm in a longer page, especially on mobile, and I'm scrolling and I get down to the end of the note, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, but I don't want to scroll back up. I just want to hit this button to get back. I can do that. And it takes me right back to the previous page. Very, very cool. Now, again, we're in the subpage of Learner for Life, and then each of these are also considered cards in Craft, but they are individual notes in this topic of Learner for Life. So when I click into them, right now I'm looking at a single note, Reading is Learning, Aim for Enlightenment, and these are the notes that I have. You know, on this note here, I've got some outgoing links, and well, these are both outgoing links, but there's some inside of the content in line here, and there's some that are in a specific box that you might see on other pages that are like, related notes, or maybe something like see also, and you have these here. When I click on this, it's going to open up this note right here, and I can see and read and this note as well. And I can get back to Learning for Enlightenment. No. Aim for Enlightenment. Either by clicking on this related notes here, which I did add to this note. I added, the link back to it because it doesn't show me in this view, like the share view. It doesn't show me backlinks like it does inside of the app. So if you want to have almost, the same kind of feel where it's going both ways, you have to add it to both of the cards. Not necessary because this is also here, but just something to note with Craft. I'm going to go back to the storytelling page here. All right, so it got rid of the other cards because this is a new path, or other notes here because this is a new path. And you'll see that the visual look of these cards are a little bit different. In Craft, you can customize how the card looks. And I like this because it gives it a little bit more appeal to it rather than just a link. A link is not bad. A link is a link, and it does its job. But with this, like, you can kind of customize the look and feel of these individual notes. I also wanted to mention that this is very responsive, meaning that it is accessible and easy to use on all devices, including mobile. I mean, you want your mind garden to be accessible on especially mobile, right? So as I scroll down, it looks and feels amazing. If I go into how to read a book, this is one of the book notes here, and these are all the individual notes inside. Right, I have the links to get back. I have this how to read the book, like to get back to the page. I have at the top, I have the breadcrumbs to get back to the home page or the previous. I have this menu up here to search. If I search story, you see how fast that is. Like it's fast on mobile. I can change to dark mode. I can go to the table of contents and browse that way, right? It's just, in my opinion, it's awesome. I love it. Now, I want to note here that about 90% of what I've shown you is the way that Craft designed the website to function, right? I didn't have to code anything to add the breadcrumbs or the table of contents, the light and dark mode, the search integration. It all comes out of the box like that. So hopefully you are starting to see what I mean when I say it is intuitive to use. It's beautiful out of the box, and it's easy to, now I'm going to get into easy to set up. So let's talk about what it looks like under the hood. So right now you're looking at the actual Craft app, right? It almost looks the exact same, but I'm in the Craft app. I'm not on the website anymore. And I want to show you how I set this up so that you can play around with it and maybe set one up as well. I mean, obviously you'll need to sign up for Craft. There is a free plan for that, and you can actually test drive all of this, even adding, doing the mind garden idea on the free plan. But you probably eventually, if you wanted to get more serious with it, you probably would need to upgrade to the premium or one of the paid plans for long-term growth. Now, the first thing that you want to do when you're in Craft is to create a new document. All right, so all of this right here this is just one document, and all of these are pages inside of a document. So when I create a new document, it'll be completely blank like this, and I can title it Greg's Second Mind Garden, right? And you want to think of this as the home page, as I stated at the beginning of the video here. This is the starting point of the house of knowledge, right? You can add a cover image, and it integrates with, Unsplash. It even provides some images for you, right? So you would pick your cover image, and if we want to continue like with this house of knowledge analogy, there are two main ways that I've seen the homepage done, but of course the options are endless here. The first way is what I call doors by links, meaning that on the homepage, it's just a couple of sentences describing what this page, or maybe even more than that, paragraphs of what this page is about, what this, this wiki, this mind garden, whatever you're deciding to call it, is about, and what you can expect to find. And as you're talking about, your mind garden throughout, you will have links, like almost like hyperlinks. Like if you're going to Wikipedia, you would see hyperlinks everywhere, and they take you in different places. That's what I call doors by links, okay, that lead you down these rabbit holes. And then the other one is doors by topics. By the way, if you're wanting to know or like have an example of, what exactly that may look like when it comes to doors by links, on my previous video, I did talk about some examples. And actually a couple of those are the doors by links examples. So feel free to check that out. I'll put a link in the description. And then the other one is doors by topics. Thinking of a house of knowledge, how do I get into and explore the house through the door of links and through the door of, in this case, topics and pages. And this is the way that I've set up mine. Let me go back over here to mine. By topic and by book notes. You can do it however you want. But these are the two main ways that I've seen it done as far as what the homepage looks like. Now, how did I set up the topics and book notes? I first added the H2s here, and I can show you right now. What I love about Craft is the ease of writing inside of Craft. They've taken the / command, and you are able to create format and create headings and all that stuff, in addition to Markdown if you're used to that. So I could do the two hashtag things to create heading 2 right here. That's what this is. Or I could literally type subtitle, and it's the same thing. / subtitle / strong. This is another heading, okay? Just a smaller heading. So that's exactly what I did. I made this an H2 on the document, the same document. So in this case, if this is a blank document, I would have a heading 2. Oops. Another heading right here. So this one is browsed by topic. And I wrapped this up in, notice visually it looks a little bit different. It's got the background right here, the bar. I wrapped it up in a bar to just visually separate it between the two. So that is done by creating or using the block feature right here on the right hand side. You can also, if I do H2, and I can hit command or / and then start typing block and hit enter, and it creates a block for me for that. So that is the H2s right there on the home page, and then there are the actual sub pages. And for that, for these two right here, these are called cards. So when I'm in, I'm gonna go ahead and add a block here. I can do the / and then hit card. And then there are different styles of cards that you can do depending on what you're looking for. Okay. I'll just go with this one. Nope, that's not what I want. There we go. When I double click into it, now I am at the top. You can see this is like the home page, but I'm in a sub page. And so I would title this the name of the sub page, and I'll just say storytelling because that's what I have on mine. And if I go back to my main document here, now you can see this is a card. It is they call it a card, but it is another page. It's a sub page inside of the document, Greg's Second Mind Garden. And I can do pages, or what I can do cards. So like this is a card. I can change the style to a page like this. It just depends on how you want it to look, really. It's up to you. So now inside of the storytelling page, I did the exact same thing that I did on the other page. I created more cards. And each of these were the notes. And you can see the breadcrumbs are starting to form here. I can duplicate this, and it automatically will start a grid for me. Right? So these are all individual notes that would be inside. And every one of these notes, I'll get into that in a second. So these are the subpage. These are the individual notes inside of the subpage storytelling, which is on the homepage or the document titled Greg's Second Mind Garden. Okay, so we've talked about the homepage and then the subpages. Now I want to dive into the architecture of the individual notes. I prefer the method of atomic notes. So let me go into, let me go into mine. In my opinion, each individual note should have a title, a specific title that is concept-based, principle-based, whatever you want to call it, but make sure it's specific. Then there's the actual content, your thoughts, and maybe, in this case, resources, links back to the source that you actually got this from, related links, and all that stuff. And then optional is you can add visuals by adding a cover image. So you can have a cover image. We added a cover image on the home page, or I added one. But like I have a cover image for the sub page. But I could also add a cover image for this individual note. Now I didn't do that because I have this visual here that I created. And no, I created this illustration in Craft's new whiteboard feature. It's in beta, obviously, but it shows up nicely on the website whenever you share it. So if you want to create your own visuals and you're kind of, you like that versus just finding a picture, either one works. But my point is you can create visuals, but it doesn't have to have a visual. You definitely want to have a title, the content, and related links. Now, you can link notes together through bidirectional linking inside of Craft. And there are a couple ways that you can do this. You can do this in line with the content. Like right here, I have this sentence that says, enlightenment happens whenever you seek out books that are above your current knowledge and thinking. This finished the sentence here, and it was written in a way that it is able to finish sentences. So you want full sentences in your titles is what I'm trying to get at, because it makes it easy to put it just right inside of the content. Okay. Now the other way is to create like a group of related notes at the bottom. You've probably seen this in various apps and stuff that you've been using. But either way works. I've seen it done both ways. I've seen it done, in this case, it's done both ways on one single note for the example of it. In Craft, if you want to link to another note, it is simple as just hitting the @ symbol, and then you start typing, and you can choose a document, and then you would be able to link it. Now, I do want to mention that you want to choose a note that is already inside of the original document. So in other words, if I choose another note that's outside of this document, I have certain notes in this document right now, but if I choose a note outside of it and I try to click it as a user who's like looking at this Mind Garden, it's going to try and take me to an external Craft note that I won't have access to. So you want to make sure that all of the cards that are linked together in the Mind Garden are actually inside of the document. In this case, it's titled Greg's Mind Garden, or this other one here, Greg's Second Mind Garden. You want to make sure that those are connected all together. How do I create these bottom sections here? Well, we've talked about how you can use block features. This is just a caption size. You can use whatever you want, and you can also name it whatever you want. You can do C also, or related notes, or connections, whatever you want to use. But you just create the caption or the text right here, the title of what it's called, and then all these notes can be in bullet point format, so it's easy to scan and use. And you'll just tag all of your, you'll connect all of your notes right here. And then once you're done, this is what it looks like without the block, right? It still looks fine, but to help separate it and kind of make it look like it's a part of each other, you can create the block. So I just simply highlighted all of these together and then hit block, and it created a block around all of that for me. All right, so I don't know about you, but this has been fun for me, and I've enjoyed walking you through how to set up a Mind Garden in Craft and all the benefits as well. I want to know from you, what did you think? Do you have another way that you can publish your Mind Garden maybe through Obsidian, or another way that you can do that? Or do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to start a conversation. See you guys next time.